So I think we should probably start by actually introducing the show, because I don't think we've ever done that. Maybe the first episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're like mid-30s now, and I think if we could try something new for this one,
We really got to start settling down. We're in our mid-30s, you know.
We gotta get a mortgage. I mean, we've been renting this house.
We gotta get a wife and kids.
Right.
Go to church more.
Yeah.
Really
separately.
give back to the community that hasn't really given us much, but I still feel the need to give back now because I'm 30.
Right. Yeah. We gotta know politics and stuff like that. I think now that we're 30 as well.
I think the opposite.
Oh, now that we're 30, we don't need to give any cares at all about politics. We don't need to think about it at all.
How is that the opposite of not talking about politics? I think once you hit 30, you get real into politics.
That's what I was saying. I said now that we're 30, we got to start talking about politics.
Oh, I thought you said we have to stop talking about politics.
Hey, how can we not talk about politics when politics is all that we got, right?
That's so true, dude.
I mean, that's all that anybody can. It's politics, economics, the weather, and the news, just generally. You don't say anything specific. You go, hey, how about that news? You know?
Yeah.
How about that news? You heard the news? And then they go, yes, I heard the news about blank, and then you talk about it.
Yeah. So, that's the show. That's our. That's how we're gonna introduce the show.
Welcome to DCOMcast, where two idiots talk about good children's movies for roughly an hour.
Yeah, we talk about Disney Channel original movies. We give them a rating out of 10 at the end, and then we predict what's going to happen, and we forget by the next episode.
Right. We take bets and then we don't cash them out. Mm-hmm. So it's just sort of a 0% chance of money retrieval, basically.
Have we been betting money this whole time?
I have. That's why I had to get a job.
Oh.
I thought you were too.
Well, I have a job, but
how
much money have we bet so far?
Well, let's see. $500 an episode. So what? That's maybe I should go to school too. 600? No. 100. 1,500. Nope. 150,000. Nope. 1,500.
No,
$1,500.
No, 15,000.
Yeah, 15. Oh, yeah, 15,000. 1,500 is 1,500. Woo wee!
Wow. Wow. This is a bad start.
Would you believe it? I went to school. Would you believe it?
I didn't.
I guess that's true. You didn't. We
kind of
swapped roles. We swapped roles today.
What are our usual podcast roles?
I went to school. You didn't.
Right.
You have a job. I don't.
Right.
Except that one we really switched.
I mean, I don't mean.
You know a lot about the movie. I don't.
That's true. You write notes. I don't.
We make lots of jokes.
Both of us. Which one of us is the straight man?
Right. Which one of us is the one that's goofy, and the other one's the sort of straight, funny.
Yeah.
Straight
funny. That's me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Straight funny. If I had to describe myself with two words.
Straight, funny.
Straight, funny. You know, I'm like a straight, funny man.
Straight, funny, white. What else? Podcast host. Wait, that's everyone.
That's not a word.
Podcast host?
It's two words.
Post. That doesn't work. That just doesn't work.
Pod host.
That simply does not
pod
work.
Host.
Pod host?
So the movie we watched today, or the other day.
The Poof Point.
The Poof Point.
The Poof Point.
Do you want me to read you the plot synopsis of the Poof Point?
I would love to listen to the plot synopsis of the Poof Point.
Two inventors enlist the help of their children after a bad experiment makes them younger and younger.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
all.
That's it.
I mean, enlist kind of does a lot of sort of describes the situation in a way that gives the parents the control in the situation. It's a little bit more like the kids go, "Oh, we got to work with our parents or else they're going to disappear forever."
Yeah, well, maybe not even work with them, work for them. Because the parents are sort of losing their faculties by aging in
almost
reverse.
Literally at the end.
Yeah, so I think all of our bets last episode were predicated on the idea that they would actually reverse in age and not just act like they were younger.
Yeah, and boy, it was a really scary thing to see the start of this movie right off the bat show a grown man covered in baby powder grab his own son and start shaking baby powder on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was directed by Neil Israel, who did Hounded, which is another DCOM that we really good. Liked.
Yeah. Hounded was one. Yeah. Was one that we liked from Neil Israel.
But this one, I gotta say, Mr. Israel, you really missed the mark.
You really did. You really did on this one. It felt like it was a really cool idea. It started off kind of good and fun, and then it sort of started at the top of the hill, got in its sled, and started going down the hill. And right about when the parents started moving backwards in time, it just sort of flipped over, and he started face planting down the hill instead.
Once the plot of the movie started, it got real bad.
Yeah, once you hit play.
Yeah. So
there was a moment where you had sort of moved the mouse for one reason or another, and we saw how far we were into the movie. And it was a moment of disappointment at how far we had not made it into the movie.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we probably got 15 minutes, and we were less than halfway through this piece of shit.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like I'm talking kind of down about this, but it really wasn't that bad. We've definitely seen worse.
Yeah. I think we just had relatively warm feelings about Neil Israel.
It's true. I had high hopes for Neil Israel.
Mm-hmm.
But
and then,
I guess Hounded was really just like a one-off.
Yeah. You know, lightning doesn't strike twice.
You know, maybe if you take all of the good parts of Hounded out, which is basically just like the dog getting thrown around, it would probably be just as good as the Poof point.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, that's a really good point. If you moved the dog getting thrown around to this movie would rule. The Poof point would rule if there was a dog getting thrown around comedically.
It would.
And if there was a court proceeding where the dog had to describe its case, that would have ruled. Or maybe, if there was a court case where the adults had to be babies and describe their case.
Oh my god.
That would have ruled. Goo goo gaga. I did not kill.
I hate that thought because it sounds so much like something that would be in one of these.
Yeah, where the parents have to prove that they're adult or prove that they're babies. That's sort of like the default for Disney Channel original movies. When people don't believe somebody that's doing something weird, they have to prove it in a court of law somehow.
That's what kids think courts are for, disagreements. You know what it would be? It would be like the neighbors are they're irresponsible, they're causing all this damage. We have to sue them for the damages to our house.
Yeah, but then the way they get out of being sued is that they're babies and you can't sue a baby.
They both show up wearing their bicycle helmets and overalls, and they talk like babies, and then the court decides to take away their children.
Exactly. The first realistic Disney Channel original movie. I will say on the note of the overalls, it's very weird seeing grown adults in overalls and a helmet.
Yeah,
and I think that was by design. It didn't look like they had regressed. It looked like they had lost a lot of brain.
Very much. This movie was weird. I feel like they thought kids would find it funny that adults were acting like children. Yeah. But as an adult, it's super uncomfortable to see these adult babies playing around and talking to children.
Yeah, and not in any kind of respectful way, almost.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
I think that's the problem. Neil Israel is a director who just doesn't put respect in his movies. Because Hounded had no respect for the dog.
No, not at all. That dog was getting thrown around.
A real dog was being thrown around in that movie.
Right.
And then in this one, it's just whatever. Make a funny pee-pee joke at the end.
Yeah.
Right to the climax. Who cares? Have him ride his son like a horsey.
have the dad have to poop right before he has to go into the teleporter to get him back to his normal age. I don't care.
Yeah,
that seems good.
Yeah, just have a dog cause the whole problem, and then like right at the end he just gives up and fixes it. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Yeah, within like the last 2 minutes, have the dog fix it. Whatever.
Let's see. I have actual notes on this movie. I actually wrote notes.
Whoa.
We really did switch roles this episode.
Yeah. Big man on campus. I didn't even write many notes.
So basic plot is these two kids have parents who are both like theoretical physicists who are working on a time machine in their basement.
Right. Yeah, and their house is like filled to the brim with quote unquote inventions.
It's a very smart house.
Yeah, very, very smart house. There was like a microwave that had like a display behind it that showed like electricity in a circle. And you would put it in there, you would close it, and it would heat up the food somehow. A lot of that kind of stuff where it's like it's not actual things that exist. It's just like set dressing that kids would go, wow, that's futuristic.
Yeah. So they make this time machine, and it doesn't quite work because the dog took a part of it out. Mm-hmm. So they then use the time machine, not realizing this, and it regresses their age slowly down to the point where they will just cease to exist. The poof point where they poof out of existence.
Yeah, and apparently they got a voice actor to announce everything that's happening with the machine. Like all of these like failure, disturbingly precise points, like age 21 and 21.
I think it's supposed to be computer generated.
But it probably is, but it sounds totally like they got a voice actor. They were like really excited about this time machine. They're like, well, we can't go forward with the time machine unless we have somebody voice act all of the failure points.
We have to hire Tara Strong to voice all of these.
Exactly. Tara Strong gets only work from voicing computer programs in this time period.
So when they first regress, they go from 40 exactly down to 21.
Yeah.
And
there's like a whole like point of contention between the parents and the kids, where the kids are like, just say things are cool, okay? Just talk about the Lakers. I wrote you some notes. And the dad's like, I'm not going to say that word. The things in this situation are not cool. It's down. He's like, Dad, no, you don't get it. Just say cool. And the moment he turns 21, he goes, cool. And the kids are like, shit, yes, this rules. Dad's cool now. Mom's cool now.
I have so many issues with this movie on like a thematic level of what did the kids want the parents to be?
Right. Yeah.
Because they're like, you should call stuff cool. Also, you should be like our neighbors who overly control their child.
Right. They wanted two very distinct, separate things, almost completely mutually exclusive things.
But also,
because
I think
those
that
neighbors'
implies,
parents aren't going to say the word cool.
But I think that implies that these parents just are not doing anything for their children at all.
Yeah, evidenced by a lot of moments in the movie where the parents are just like always in the basement while the kids are trying to do stuff.
Literal full parental neglect.
Right, which is funny because then when they become children, they actually do more for their children.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, it almost becomes like a thematic point where it's like the parents can only relate to their children when they are their children's age.
Yeah.
Which is weird because
it's overt.
It's very overt.
Of being like, hey kids, your parents, they used to be your age too. They didn't feel seen or heard. Right. They play cool guitar.
Yeah, there's a really great moment where the dad is rocking out at a guitar, jumping on a bicycle, things like that, and Eddie, the boy, is like, whoa, wait, you can play guitar too? And the dad's like, yeah, bro, I played guitar all the time, man, since I was born.
I've always played guitar. He says as a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
I've just always played guitar.
Having probably only played guitar for like a year at that point. I've always played guitar, man.
Yeah, I'm cool. I've always played guitar.
I love the people who are like, well, how long have you been singing? Like, my whole life.
Yeah,
and they're
dude.
like 14 years old, and it's like, really? Your whole life?
I'm going to call some people out on this. If you say you've been drawing your whole life, fuck off.
Yeah, everyone has.
Everyone's drawn. You don't get to say that.
Yeah. That's like well, nobody would ask the question, how long have you been breathing? But like, how long have you been biking for, right? That's a good question. That's a good similar thing. How long have you been biking for? Everybody learns how to bicycle. Yeah, but not everybody learns how to bike.
I'm gonna be honest with you here, buddy.
God damn it. Yeah.
I never learned how to ride a bike.
Hey, for real though, I haven't learned how to ride a bike either.
Evan, did we just like sit in a room for the last like 20 goddamn years not doing anything?
Pretty much.
And then just wander out?
Yeah. First it was Skype, then it was Discord, and now it's the real world. We grew up in Skype.
We did. We really kind of did grow up in Skype.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to, like, if like years down the line, my son comes up to me, my theoretical son comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Dad, teach me how to ride a bike." I would go, "Sorry, bud. Sorry. Dad doesn't know how to do that." I would be the opposite case of this movie. I would have to regress in order to learn how to be on a bike.
That would make such a funny DCOM of a dad learning how to ride a bike so he can teach his son.
Just like a dad who doesn't know how to do anything is trying his darndest to teach his kid how to do things. So he has to like travel back in time. He has to take an adventure through time to learn things to teach his son. Or even, you know what? Even better, a dad who learns how to ride his bike from his son. Like here's the plot of the movie. Here's all you need for the plot synopsis. A somewhat deadbeat dad who wants to do good for his son wants to learn how to ride a bicycle, but the only person he knows who knows how is his son.
That is,
and then the son would be played by
Frankie Muniz.
Frankie Muniz. I was gonna say who's the guy who's he's Bumblebee in the Transformers.
Oh, Shia LaBeouf.
That's
a good pull.
Shia LaBeouf. Because he'd have that slightly sassy energy that would be perfect. What do you mean you don't know how to ride a bike, Dad? You know,
you're my dad, and you never learned how to ride a bike.
It's usually the other way around. You know that,
Tune
right?
in at 8/7 Central
on Disney Channel.
We got to come up with a title for this one.
It's obvious. It's called We'll learn.
We'll learn?
Yeah, it's like we'll learn, like we will learn, but it's
you gotta put like dad or father in there.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
Fatherhood. Hood is a car, not a bike. No, that doesn't work.
It's close. Like maybe the son learned how to drive a car before his dad.
That would actually be pretty good.
Fatherhood,
yeah. And his son is teaching him how to drive.
Yeah, the poster could have the dad like trying to look cool in a hooded sweatshirt, and it's fatherhood, you know. And here's what's great. Here's what's great. You have it have like a Christian underplot, you know.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So he's fatherhood. Ooh, there's a lot there. There's a lot of exploratory.
There's a lot you could do with that.
There's a lot you could do with a son teaching dad. You know, flip the script. You know, have a heart-to-heart, but it's the son having a heart-to-heart with his dad and being like, "Dad, hey, it's okay. I know you never taught me anything."
I feel like that so many of these movies is just like flipping a single idea of childhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like what if instead of land, water? What if you grew up in water instead of land?
What if you had a stepsister, but she was an alien?
What if you went through childhood, but you had a twin?
What if racism was still a thing?
Yeah, pretty much. God, what if your family was superheroes? It's a lot of just like
it's got to be simple to understand. So let's get back to the movie.
Yeah.
There's something really important that happens pretty early on.
Is it the part where the dad sets the principal on fire, or is it?
No, I mean something very important, Evan.
What's that?
Let me explain. So they go through the time machine, and they turn 21. They revert back to being 21, and their kids are like trying to convince them that they are 21 again, and they're not 40. So they ask, "Who's the president right now?" And the dad responds, "It's the Ron Man, our political hero, Ronald Reagan."
And he's like super excited about it. And then he goes, "Anyways, these computers are wacky."
And then his wife says, "Nancy's pretty nifty too." And then he says, "Yeah, Nancy's hot."
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. This is like the first political thing in any of these movies.
Yeah, and it's just like fully endorsing
it's
Ronald
just like,
Reagan.
Damn, dude, I want to bang Nancy Reagan.
First lady, more like my lady. Yeah.
Ooh, I want to trickle down on her.
Let me budget her into my life. Woo.
It's so good. I can't believe this happened in a movie.
It's incredibly awful.
The fucking Ron Man, dude.
The Ron Man. He goes, "The Ron Man, our political hero, Ronald Reagan." Did people at the time think he was a hero?
I mean, if they voted for him, yeah.
I guess that's true.
It's so funny.
It's so funny. It's so out of the blue too. Like we had to go back and hear it again.
Yeah, we did. I had to rewind because I didn't believe that he went, "Yeah, Nancy's hot."
Yeah, and he sure did. He sure did say, "Yeah, Nancy's hot" in front of his wife. You know,
my wife.
You know, his wife.
Yeah. Who's So they're 21. I'm like 2 or 3 weeks away from turning 21.
Right.
That would be like if I called Donald Trump's wife hot right now.
Dude, Ivanka? More like Aruga.
I think that's his daughter.
Ivanka?
Yeah, Melania.
His wife is Melania. That's right. Bro. Yeah, that would be that. Can you imagine like a movie like 12 or so years from now? That's probably not long enough.
20 years.
20 years from now. And the people in the movie have like this time travel event,
and they go,
and they're like, "Who's the president right now?"
The Don
like,
Man.
"Oh, the fucking Donald, the Donald man, the Donald the plan. He's gonna save all of our money. He's gonna save all of our public relations. Love him. And guess what? Wife fucking bangs. Pretty hot wife."
Just like it's fucking 2040. This is a children's movie. And the dad just goes, "Build that wall, I'm gonna fuck Trump's wife." Insane.
Absolutely unbelievable, completely untenable, to be completely honest.
Top scene in these films, honestly.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
Yeah.
Raises this film up like
I was about to say,
this number of points in the rankings.
This one takes the Neil Israel best quotable moment cake. Oh God. So they're trying to convince them that they went back in time because the parents for some reason just don't believe it, despite being in some crazy like modern lab house that they own.
Right. Yeah. They're pretty incredulous and they won't believe them for some reason.
Yeah. And so they like show them pictures from like old vacations, and the parents are like, "Wow, we look old." And then they go up to the mirror, and like in the mirror it shows them young, but in like real life they're old, and they're like, puffing up their hair and like looking at those. They're like, "Wow, you look great."
This is a really goosebumpy
and they make
plot.
out. They make out.
Yeah,
it's a very Goosebumps plot. What if your parents were kids? And it's like scary too.
Yeah.
Like I could see a version of this movie that's scary.
If it was a cursed thing instead of science.
Yes.
If it was the occult instead of science, this would be a horror movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the parents go to the library and they check out a book that's in the restricted section because that's how kids think libraries work. And it's like a book that's like it's called like it's a book that has the title that's like an anagram of the Fountain of Youth, and the kids like figure it out halfway through the movie that it's related to the book, and they're like, oh my god, we gotta get this book back to the library, and that'll solve it.
We have to go ask the librarian.
Yeah, and then one of the librarians, like this like super occult genius, and he's like, oh, I didn't think they were gonna actually use this book. I've never seen this before. Here, let me take it to the back, and like does like cool magic stuff on it, and the kids are like blown away.
Yeah, and the ending would be like the parents are babies and the kids have to raise them back up to adults, right, rather than the ending of this movie where everything's they just cool.
Yeah.
What else happened in this movie? So
they're like looking back at the computers, trying to figure out the data and stuff like that, figure out what happened to them. And the dad picks up a computer, like a laptop, and goes, I can't believe that silly Billy Gates, the guy I tutored in calculus, by the way, made this. That's crazy.
I forgot that happened.
He essentially like takes ownership of the entirety of Microsoft.
It's so stupid.
So stupid. It's very like what can we have this guy do? It's like the whole like the dad's like, well, do you guys have any advice for me? And they're like, invest in Apple, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
You know, a bet on horses, ha ha ha.
Sports almanac, that type of thing.
Yeah, just directly stealing stuff from Back to the Future and Forrest Gump. It's very Forrest Gumpian, where Forrest Gump is like just happens to be similar. In that movie, the whole crux of the thing is about that. But this movie's just like, oh, by the way, flex on you by calling Bill Gates Silly Billy.
Oh, I thought you meant because he's like mentally challenged.
Was Silly Billy Gates?
No, Forrest Gump.
Oh no, no. I just mean like the whole thing of the film is like. Yeah, he was there at a lot of big events, and you just accept it because it's Forrest Gump.
Right. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. So the parents like they figure it out, and they're like, "Hey, by the way, kids, here's what's happening. We're gonna poof. So yeah, let's figure it out together." And right as they start figuring it out, it's like a montage. They de-age again.
They're 14, which is the age 14. Of. One of their kids, the older kid is 14, but the younger kid skipped a grade, so they both just graduated together.
They're not twins. They're not
twins.
We cannot have another movie with twin plot lines.
They're not twins. One of them is just really smart.
Or to be fair, maybe the other one's just really dumb. And
well, no, because he skipped a grade.
Right.
Not she was held back.
But like, how embarrassing would it be to graduate with your younger sibling?
Dude, imagine you get held back a year, and then your brother skips a grade, and he's ahead of you.
Your brother has his graduation before you, and you're just like, well, I guess that's it for me.
That's it for me.
I guess I'm done.
No more social life.
I'm checking out of life. Yep. Yeah, can you imagine having to tell future people like that? Like, wait, did your brother graduate before you? And you're like, all right, well, I guess I'm done talking to you forever. Nice knowing you. I'll see you later. Thanks for the memories. See ya. Yeah, so their parents are 14. They're really good at acting now. Like they really
spend
good at acting.
The majority of this movie at 14 because it's sort of the like, oh, I'm connecting with my kids because I'm their age, and I remember what it was like to have crushes on boys and to play guitar.
Yeah. And I thought it was kind of weird that like all of us, like, because at 21 they were very incredulous and they were like, no way, you're not our kids, that's so stupid, somebody sent you on us. But then at 14 they're like, oh my god, you are the most popular people in the school, we look up to you so much. And it's just like, I wonder how that quite works. Like, how does it switch from their memories, like, because obviously they understand, they have all of their memories at that age. And so at 14, I guess they have the memory of their kids being super popular, or somebody like their kids being super popular.
They don't,
because there's like a.
Do they say that? I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, there's a moment where the mom's talking to the daughter, and she's like, "But you're so popular and so awesome. Like I could never be like you." Like,
yeah, she
when
doesn't
she's trying.
like think she's someone she knows.
Yeah, that's true. It's just a weird sentence to say to somebody you don't quite know, I think.
Yeah, I think the movie's poorly written is the main problem.
Yeah, number one, top of the list. Movies kind of got
I think that was
holes.
just to show, like, wow, my parents don't like me because they're old, not because I'm not cool.
Yes, yeah, totally. Which is a really funny sentiment, too, because it's like, well, can you imagine a kid being, like, watching that movie and their takeaway is like, well, now how can I do this? well, now how can I make this happen?
You just gotta remember that your parents are real people,
Yeah. Yeah, and make sure to remember the equation x plus x delta plus x squared, and then you'll be able to figure out time travel.
Oh, yeah. Fuck this movie for that.
Yeah.
So they're, like, trying to fix it.
Additionally, fuck this movie for the timer. The clock that's counting down.
We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that when the bridge comes, when the fucking cursed bridge comes.
When they're trying to fix the parents.
Right.
The parents get too young to help. So they start having to do all the work themselves. And the
all the math.
The machine does not work simply because the dog took something out of it.
Right.
But
right.
The girl discovers that they had the wrong weight put into the machine. They had the weight of 2 goldfish they were doing the test on.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't seem to have affected anything.
Right.
At all.
Not at all.
What was the fucking point?
I don't know. I think that the point was to say, oh, they're going to have a little bit longer than the goldfish had. Because the movie starts off them testing on the goldfish. They go to, like, the school. They do a couple things at the school. It's the first time the parents are going to school, I think, if I remember. And then they come home, which, by the way, is baffling given that it's their graduation. That's the first time they're going to school. But aside from that, then they come back and the goldfish are gone. And so it was, like, just a 4-hour thing. And so I think they figure, oh, well, they're heavier, so they'll probably have a lot longer. But I seem to remember that revelation happening after they figured that the parents have a lot longer.
They actually don't have a lot longer. They poof at the exact point. They don't get any extra time.
From figuring out that they have longer. Right.
No, they never figure out that they have longer. The timer is always the exact same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm saying that they had longer than the goldfish.
Right.
But never at any point did them figuring out that they weighed more than the goldfish actually change the time. So
no, it had no relevance.
Why was that there?
I think it was just to be like, wow, maybe science isn't so bad. I don't know. This movie's dumb.
Yeah, I don't know. If that was the case, they should have just made it so that the dog didn't steal a piece of the machine.
The cool
they should have just made it so that maybe the kids have a different perspective that makes them go, oh, what if we tried this? Like, what if? Okay, here's a great idea. All right, fix the boy. The boy really likes, let's say, skateboarding, right?
Okay.
And he figures, okay, well, he has something that relates to, like, oh, well, I fixed wheels before. I wonder if this is similar to it, because this machine, spins around. And he's like, well, Dad, you didn't oil this up correctly, or something like that. And then there's a bonding moment where the kid feels like he's done something. He solves the problem himself, and it removes the whole idea that the dog just gives them the item at the end because he, I guess, decides they've earned it.
Well, so the reason the dog gives the item at the end is because the dad is established to hate dogs because a puppy ate his science report. So he sort of like abuses the family dog.
Yeah, and it's revealed in this really, like, stumbling kind of way in, like, when they turn 21, where the dad's like, is that a dog? Oh my gosh, I am so scared of dogs. And the mom goes, well, you guys, that's because a dog ate his paper. Senior in when it's like, what?
Yeah, it's just flat out exposition.
Yeah. Oh God. And so so the whole thing, like, once they become super babies, I guess they're not super babies. They're not super babies. They're just babies. They're adult babies.
They're adult babies. Yeah.
When they become adult babies,
they're 2 years old.
Yeah, they're 2 years old. The dad, like, goes, ooh, doggy, and climbs to the dog, and the dog goes, oh, now that you're nice to me, here's the piece to fix the thing.
Yeah. Incredible.
I mean, obviously, it's like, yeah, like you think that sounds like us kind of extending it. It might be just the dog's like, oh, here you go, but no, the boy in the movie literally goes, and that was it. The dog had decided to give him the piece because he was finally nice to him.
Oh yeah, there's light narration in this movie.
Yeah, all done in front of just a blackboard with math on it, with just math stuff.
Just symbols.
Yeah. Do
you want to talk about the timer?
Yeah, let's talk about the timer.
So they have a timer that counts down to their poof point, where they poof out of existence. Mm-hmm. And this timer, it's like a LCD alarm clock looking timer that hangs above the time machine.
Yeah. The ones that have like the 8 and the pieces, the segments of it light up and they're static. They light up to show it. It's a very cheap way to build a display.
This is some sort of magic clock.
Yeah. That can somehow, I guess, create time. Interestingly enough.
At one point, the clock is shown to show the time as going from 31 minutes and 0 seconds, and it ticks down to 30 minutes and 60 seconds. Mm-hmm. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with time, period. This is not possible.
Right. Because a minute, as some of you may know, has 60 seconds. Now you might go, well, hey, that number is 60. But no, here's the trick. You count 0 as a second. So it should tick down to
this is the
30
only
minutes
thing in frame
and 59
when this happens.
seconds.
This is the focus of the movie while it's happening.
Additionally, later in the flick, it ticks down past a minute, and it ticks down to like 12 minutes and 59 seconds. It ticks down correctly.
Not only that, it slides over.
Yep.
It's not an LCD display. It's like a screen that has that like font plugged into it.
Yeah, it's like an oblong screen that for some reason was limited to show only an LCD display.
I have a hard time believing that this was easier than just getting a real LCD display.
Absolutely, because without a doubt, this was VFX'd in.
That's crazy.
For some reason, they decided they had to VFX this in.
They would have to VFX it in every single time. I guess
time it's visible in a shot.
I guess they do that because it's a timer that's constantly ticking down. So if you have to do a reshoot of a scene, you have to reset it to the right time for the cut.
Right. But I don't think at any point it's visible in the background.
You might be right about that, actually.
And so I think that really what happened is they filmed it and they were like, they probably, God, there's so many corners that they had to cut to get to this point. Because one, they had to go, okay, we don't want to get this prop. It's too expensive, or we can't find one. But instead, we're going to get a thing that is shaped exactly like one of these things, hang it up correctly, light it correctly, and get it looking relatively like a timer. And then go, okay, we don't want to film it for the entire hour or however long or any like chunk of time in the middle of that. But you know what we are going to do is we are going to edit a whole interface to let it slide and do all these things. They didn't have to do the slide. In fact, I argue they probably shouldn't have done the slide and have it say 0000000, and then 30 seconds.
Yeah,
or something.
it would have been
that would have been
impactful.
Dramatic.
Yeah.
But then it just slowly, very very like relaxed kind of slides over. Like the minutes disappear, it slides over, and it's like, oh yeah, you guys got time. Whatever, 59 seconds. You guys got it.
Stupid movie.
Stupid idiot movie.
Yeah. So they figure it out. They get the thing from the dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're babies now, and after having like a bunch of baby moments where they have to poopy and they get covered in barf and stuff like that, and it's very funny. I found it very funny. I found it very hilarious.
It's not even like barf and poopy though. It's just like food from the kitchen. Yeah,
it's food and laying on the ground, spraying a bunch of like toilet paper and baby powder everywhere.
Yeah, it's
not toilet humor. It's object humor, and that doesn't quite do anything. Humor.
And it's 40-year-old actors doing this, which is it's just uncomfortable.
Yes. We didn't. Got to be clear about that. Yeah, got to be clear about that. Just imagine like your favorite 40-year-old actor on the rolling on the ground going, "Baby, what food? Baby, grossy."
Yeah, but don't imagine that because that sounds kind of funny.
Yeah.
Just imagine a 40-year-old man doing that.
Imagine your own father or mother or anybody who is in your life at that age. Just imagine them on the floor going, "Please, your name? I want some food. I made a stinky on the floor."
So we didn't talk about how they throw a big party.
Oh God, yeah. There's a whole plot point in this film where the brother, for some reason, is auditioning for a local band. They're holding an audition for the local band.
What was the name of the band?
God, I don't remember. It was something really cool though, like super super cool. Can we call it 6 seconds of Poof Point? I don't know.
I don't get it.
That's the best I could have thought right there. It's 5 seconds to summer.
Oh,
the bass. It's not even like a cool band. I just couldn't think of any.
You just hurt somebody's feelings by saying that.
I'm sorry. I felt it. I felt that. I'm so sorry. I just.
Oh, not me, by the way. I realized that kind of sounded like I meant myself.
No. I know. I felt the audience.
I genuinely don't know if that's a real band. I gotta be honest.
5 seconds to summer.
Is that real?
I think I'm mixing it up with 30 Seconds to Mars and 5 Seconds of Summer. So just want to get that in there before people yell at me on various platforms about how I don't know anything about bands.
Everybody tweet at him that it was of, not to. Don't say the rest of it. Just say of, not to.
This is of, not to. It's a Camp Rock all over
hashtag
again.
Of, not to, guys.
Hashtag, yeah, let's get that trending.
Let's cancel this guy.
Yeah. So they're holding a party. Basically what happens is there's an audition for this local band, and there's like this whole thing about the movie that this guy's like super cool and the kid wants to impress them, so he and his dad are kind of rocking out, learning how to guitar really well. And so he ends up like the audition is coming up, and it's like at 3 p.m. or something like that. And 3 p.m. hits, and Eddie comes upstairs. He opens the door, and the entire neighborhood is waiting out there for him.
There's like over 100 children.
Yeah. They really put out all their talent agencies on this one, because there was a lot of just a bunch of kids. Like it's almost comedic how many kids there are, like, because it's an audition. it's an audition for a band, and there's just like a bunch of kids just ready to party for some reason.
Well, no, that's the thing. It's a trick.
Right. It's a whole because there's a part where the mom goes to the diner, and there's like a popular girl there, and the mom's like, are you part of the school by chance? And she sits down and she's like, yes, I am. And she's like, basically then they end up talking a whole bunch about school and Marie's friends and stuff like that, and they end up having a party there, and there's a moment where all of the quote unquote popular girls as well as Marie's friends are at the diner playing like racing games.
Yeah, they're on like some motorcycle game.
Yeah, and the person playing dies in the game, and the game goes, "Ugh, you're toast."
Oh, you are toast. It's so weird. It's like
it's very obvious. Oh, by the way, I was about to say it's very obvious that whoever's mixing that part just had no idea what to put there to be. The mixing in this movie, I do not complain about mixing. I don't usually know how to complain about mixing.
You complain about mixing a surprising amount. I don't know if you know that.
This mixing in this one was just really bad. Like, sound effects didn't sound like they were in the space, and to that effect, sound effects didn't sound correctly volumed in relation to others. Like, you'd have the microwave just drowning out people talking, and you'd have like music that's like completely super quiet. There's like chainsaw sound effects where there shouldn't be chainsaw sound effects. A lot of bad stuff in this movie in regards to mixing.
Yeah, not a good sound mix. Gonna have to lose some points for that one.
Yeah, it felt like they had like a sample library, and they just took the first result for every search term. Like they searched like machine and just got the first one. They searched like guitar and took the first one. They didn't care. They didn't like. They would show them playing it on screen. The guitar just wouldn't match up at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, almost every single sound effect sounded non-diegetic, but it was supposed to be diegetic. Like it just sounded like it was playing in our ears and only our ears. Yeah.
Yeah,
really
not a
bad,
great movie.
Really bad. Not a great movie. But then yeah, so then the girl who was on the bike, the other girls are like, "All right, we're going to go do these things and we're going to figure out this stuff for the party." And she goes, "Okay, and now I'm going to do my phone thing."
Yeah.
And like,
okay, now I'm gonna do my phone thing.
It sounded like the director of the movie went, "Okay, so yeah, we're gonna," because I'm in film school and they teach us that if you're working with people who are acting the first time, you give them broad strokes. Because if you give them exact lines, they're not gonna deliver those lines well. But if you're like, "Okay, you're gonna come in, you're gonna ask how their day was, and then you're gonna be good." It sounded like Neil Israel went, "All right, so in this scene at the end, you're gonna mention that you're gonna start calling your friends, you do some do stuff on your phone," and she goes, "Okay," and the scene starts and she goes, "All right, now I'm going to do my phone thing." And she holds up the phone to her ear, and Neil just goes, "All right, that's it. We don't have time. We got to move on."
All right.
The AD's like, "Guys, we got to go. We can't do that again. We got to go." Oh, man.
What a film.
What a film. Yeah, so yeah, there's like the whole party. And right, like during the party, during the party, they go downstairs and they go, I wonder if the design matches what we have here. What if everything in the design matches? And then they figure out that there's not the vectorizer, something like that.
Yeah,
Vector
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it looks like a dog toy with a stick on it. It really
it's
does.
It's just a ball.
Truly,
it's a stick on a ball. It's
yeah,
like a candy
I don't blame
apple.
I don't blame the dog for it. There's like indents as well that look like dog toys. It's like bright red as well.
It probably was a dog toy.
Honestly, to get the dog to like use it and stuff, it probably was a dog toy. There's no reason it wasn't a dog toy because it didn't look like technology. I mean, it looked, glossy, but no high tech precision engineered mechanical object would be like glossy red.
Yeah.
There's the part where the orb comes flying out upstairs because the parents are now the parents are
Do we
babies.
have to talk about the energy ball? It doesn't
do anything.
It's stupid.
It's just nothing.
It's just like a weird CG effect.
Yeah, where it looks like they edited it into the center of the camera and they moved the camera through the space.
So let me explain.
And then they darkened
ball,
everywhere. Yeah.
So the parents have known each other for a long time, since they were like kids basically. And one of the first things they ever created together was an energy ball, which is revealed that they argued over what it's supposed to do.
It's just a ball with energy, and they're like, "What do we do with this?
Like,
what is it supposed to do?"
Before they created it, they argued what it was supposed to do. And when we see the energy ball get turned on, we find out they didn't really ever decide. It just moves. It's a ball that spins and makes lights, and it just moves around.
Yeah.
And that's science, baby.
Yeah, that's it, And yeah, it's a really bad effect. It's like it felt like they wrote the scene in. Like it felt like this was one of the first scenes they wrote in. And then they started work on the movie a little bit, and then they started cutting scenes. They're like, "Well, we can't cut
You think
that
was one of the first scenes they wrote in?
You
think the first scene they wrote in was, and then the energy ball goes around the crazy party?
No.
And has sex
here's
with
what
the
I think.
dreadlocks boy.
I forgot about that. Yeah, it goes underneath the guy. It goes underneath his shirt, and he's like jumping around with it.
He's laying on the ground, and it's bouncing up and down on his stomach, and he's like, he's loving it.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is that this like ball is violently jerking around the room, and the people in the movie are like, "Yo, yeah!" Like half of them are screaming, and the other half of them are like smiling. It looks like there was kind of a mismatch because on set they told them to smile, and they added in screams afterwards, like way too many screams, by the way, as well. Like they added in screams afterwards because like a lot of the time you'll see kids like in there like running around kind of like smiling a little bit instead of running for their life scared. It's very good. But the point I was making is that if what it felt like was they were like, shooting ideas out in like the ideas room. They were like, brainstorming ideas, and they were like, oh, we could have this movie and there's a scene where this thing happens, or oh, what if we have a movie about like these parent inventors, and then we can have a scene where like there's a party and things go wrong with all the inventions, and oh, that can like the neighborhood maybe doesn't like them. That's a good idea. And then when they get to writing it, and they're like, oh, we got to fit that thing in that Ralph suggested.
To me,
we got to fit that scene in.
It felt almost exactly the opposite.
Like they, like how so?
Like the way that it's filmed, it seems like they just went, what if we like went around the big party scene and just filmed some reaction shots? What could we do with that later?
Yeah.
It felt very like pick up like, and then we can sort of add in like, after like, all this stuff about the energy ball.
Yeah, it felt very much like they were like, well, we got the kids for another 4 hours. What can we do?
Or like they made a prop and they went, well, what does it do?
Yeah. It could also just be like a thing where they're like, all right, this movie's getting a little dry. Let's give the kids some laughs.
Yeah.
Let's throw in a little physical comedy here. The kids will love that shit.
So
it feels like in a 3D movie, they always have to have a scene where something comes at the camera.
It was super 3D.
It super was like Ice Age 3D.
Like Spy Kids 3D.
Yeah, Spy Kids 3D. They descend into the camera and whoa, it's coming out.
Watch out. Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about in the movie?
No.
Yeah. So what did you think of the movie?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this movie probably a 5.
I was thinking 5 too. I think it's it's got some moments.
Yeah, it certainly does.
But it's not great.
And yeah, it's not great. It's got a fresh concept, and there's a lot of like kind of like cool ideas that are within it. But
I don't know about a fresh concept.
Well, I mean,
what if your
I was
parents
gonna
were
say
kids?
In relation to the past couple. Yeah, that's true. I think the time travel thing. I think the things that were tackled in it, like in terms of, hey, your parents are kids. Were kids once too.
Yeah,
we haven't seen in a Disney movie yet.
That's true.
But yeah, on the whole, it was a lot of okay.
Yeah, at least the parents in this felt like real characters, which isn't too common in these movies.
Yeah, because a lot of the times the parents in movies are like, they don't get the kid, and they're old and they're past their prime, and they're very one dimensional. They're very like one. But these parents, like, as they were going backwards through it, they started to reveal more about like why they are the way they are. I never really understood why they got to the full point where they're just entirely science nerds, but at least they had a direction. At least
it really just seems like they cared too much about their stupid time machine.
It really does. It really does. It really looks like, because at 21 they knew that the Arrow machine was possible. Like they mention it. They're like, well, we can't do the Arrow machine unless we have smaller compute. Whoa.
Yeah, which
are those smaller computers?
Absolute bullshit. It doesn't move. You don't need a portable computer for a non-moving thing.
Yeah, they're like yeah, they for some reason they need portable computers for a machine that stays still. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, it was fantastic.
Fantastic.
I went on IMDb to find goofs because I wanted to do I wanted to do a segment called the Goof Point. There's no goofs.
The Goof Point.
There's no goofs in this movie. It's a flawless film.
It's true. It's a flawless film.
Actually,
none of the mixing is a goof.
We should add the timer ticking down to 30 minutes, 60 seconds as a goof.
We should, because that is a goof. And it's like directly on screen. It's very obvious. I wonder how many of these movies just don't have people looking for goofs.
That's probably true. There's only one review for this movie, and it's a 10-star review. Written in the year 2006.
Wow.
Should I read
and for reference, this movie was 2001. Yeah, can you read the review? Let's see. Let's get a third opinion in here.
It's kind of long.
But I see the title of it and I want the payoff.
All right, I'm going to read this whole thing. If I mess it up, oh boy, am I going to mess this up.
Go ahead.
10 stars. Awesomeness. This movie is so awesome, and if you think otherwise, then you are obviously mentally disturbed. Taj Mowry is more awesome than you'll ever be, and this is a good idea on Disney's part, and you should be ashamed of yourself for thinking otherwise. I must say that I love this movie. I think the acting was good, and so was the production. When you have to come out with a different movie every single month, sometimes the movies may not be as good as they could possibly be, but I give 2 thumbs way up to Disney in this fabulous film. I also think that this film also inspires youths and even adults to dream of someday making a scientific discovery. This movie explores so many things that have never been imagined if not for the witty and wise writers at Disney Studios. My favorite character in this movie...
Those words mean something. You can't just say them.
My favorite character in this movie has to be Taj Mowry. He did such a good job with the movie and is a fabulous actor. There is no doubt about that. Taj also does a fabulous job in all of his movies/shows, such as Kim Possible, Smart Guy, 17 Again, Smart Guy, Sister Sister, and Full House. He was born to act.
This, I do want to specify. Yes, Smart Guy was in there twice. If those astute viewers, I do a little goof report on this awesomeness review.
Yeah, thanks, Mimi. Shoutouts to Mimi.
I love that the review kind of hinges on, hey, it's a cool idea, and Taj Mowry does a good acting job in most of his films.
Guys, it's hard to make a movie every month.
Yeah, guys, when you're making a podcast episode every week,
they're not all going to be great. But I give this one 2 thumbs up. They're not all going to be
great podcast episodes.
Do you know what the next one is, Evan?
I think it's Cadet Kelly.
No, nowhere close, buddy. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Cadet Kelly 2002?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Let me give you a hint.
Okay.
This movie that we just watched came out in September 2001.
Oh.
The next one comes out the next month, October.
Okay. I think I know what it is.
What do you think it is?
Does it have something to do with maybe a character called Calabar?
Oh, yes.
A Halloween Town 2 Calabar's Revenge, baby.
Yeah, I'm going to have to abstain from bet on it's for this because I know this movie very well.
I super don't. So
why don't you read the plot synopsis?
Okay. An angry warlock has stolen a magic spell book and plans to turn everyone into whatever costume they're wearing at midnight on Halloween. It's a race against time to get the book back and save the humans from permanent horror.
That's
interesting.
That's a pretty accurate description.
It's interesting because it assumes that children don't go back home and get out of costume before midnight. But a lot of like I think that as a plot point for children isn't as scary as it is for me, where I was a character from a podcast at midnight on Halloween this past year. So I would just cease to exist, I think is how that would work.
That would be so awful if you got turned into Joe Rogan.
Can you yeah, my Joe Rogan costume was really good this year. Really good.
Yeah, you did. You were great. Imagine this podcast if it was me and Joe Rogan. He would have loved the Jenny Project.
He would have been like, yeah, dude, like, it's kind of like...
They just let that monkey into their house.
That's awesome. I think monkeys and humans are a lot closer than people think. It's kind of like octopuses. Octopi, did you know they're probably aliens? Yeah, that's right.
Then we could get Bernie Sanders on here to talk about High School Musical 2.
Yeah. Finally, we get Bernie's opinion on High School Musical 2.
The people have been waiting.
Yeah, I certainly
This is why he lost in Iowa. Pete's been very vocal about his opinions on High School Musical 2.
It's like that meme that's like what the presidents say or what the presidential candidates say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like Bernie Sanders on the left and whoever's he's up against at any given time on the other side. And Pete's like, High School Musical 2 wasn't really a good movie after all.
So yeah, do you have any bets for Halloween Town 2?
Yeah, I think I don't think that Monty's gonna have any witch powers on her own.
Oh.
I think she's gonna have to team up again with her family to make those witch powers fly.
Okay, that's a good one.
I don't think she's been training since the last Halloween Town. This is under the assumption that it's been 1 year since the last Halloween Town.
I think it's been 3.
Oh.
Like literally.
Ooh. Yeah, like it's been 3 in real life and in the movie.
I'm not sure about in the movie.
Okay, that's what I'm. But
in real life, I think it's been 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. Took them a long time to write it. They're really stuck on Act 3.
They couldn't get the twist quite right.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I wish I could make a bet, but I know it too well. I'm too deep in there, man.
You're too deep in the town.
I'm a Halloween Town native, man.
Ooh, here's a good one.
All right,
here's a good one.
Go for it.
That Goblin kid from the first one is absolutely coming back as a full-fledged love interest.
Oh wow, okay.
The one that he's like, you would never love me. I'm not beautiful. I have a big nose. And she's like, you're great. Don't worry.
Wow, all right.
I think he comes back.
Okay.
He comes back as a full-fledged love interest for her.
Okay. That's a good one. All right. I like that.
Well, if you guys, well, I'm trying to close the show. I've never done that before. Guys, that's all. Thanks for...
Oh my God, Evan. Do you want me to do it?
I hope you guys have enjoyed our show. We certainly have, as much as we have making it. Be sure to join us next week or the past weeks if you haven't seen those ones.
Oh no, Evan. The podcast is reaching its poof point.
Oh no.
Looks like it's time for us to jump ship.
Oh no, the monkey.
The monkey's been dead, Evan.
No, I brought him back to life because I poofed him back.
We did. We went back in
machine.
time to the end of the Jenny project.
Yeah. Guys, don't worry. The monkey's okay.
We got to get the monkey out of the water.
There's been a lot of people complaining that the monkey died. The monkey's okay, guys. The monkey's okay.
Well, it did die, but we're in an alternate timeline now.
Right. Yeah, we've swapped to the different timeline where the monkey's okay because we determined that was a bad public move to kill the monkey.